Good afternoon to all the doctors. I hope everybody is fine and we are going to start our session. I know that so many of you are still arriving, but as it is already 1 o'clock, we are going to start the session. Let me call upon Destiny Doctor for giving a welcome speech.
Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
doctor, we can hear you.
Yeah. Good afternoon, dear doctors. A warm welcome to our dear Dr. Wahida Rahman. And we're all now waiting to hear from you. MashaAllah, we are very happy. And I will just give a small introduction to our Dr. Wahida. By working by last 14 years in this Ayurvedic field with the Prasuti specialization, and her infertility management has brought nearly 1,500 babies to this new world. And as a recognition, she had got the Cheraga Award 2017 state level, and then AMI Award 2015. And lots of recognition district and state level in years 2015, 16, 17. So we are so happy to get our dear Dr. Dr. Wahida in this webinar, and we are so delighted that we are able to do a session in this UAE under our group IGA, the Emirates Graduates Association. So I'm just welcoming all the attendees, and may this session be a fruitful session for all the attendees. A warm welcome, Dr. Wahida, for the session.
Thank you, Doctor. Good afternoon to all the doctors of IGA, respected and dear doctors. And today the discussion is about PCOS, management of PCOS through Ayurveda. As far as we are concerned, we have got so many cases of PCOS nowadays. Can we start? Can we start now?
Yes, doctor, you can continue.
Okay.
Yes, doctor, you can continue.
Okay. Today's topic of presentation is management of PCOS, Ayurvedic perspective. As far as the practitioners are concerned, there are so many presentations of PCOS. PCOS is not a single disease. It is a group of syndrome having so many presentations and so many presenting complaints, complications, etc. So, firstly, we have to go through some of the symptoms. The case 1, a student of 21 years came to our dispensary with the complaints of menstrual level more than 2 months with a scanty flow, hair falling, acne, duration 4 years, having weight gain, hairs on face, chest, abdomen, etc. On examination, acanthosis nigricans on neck. Obese, having a BMI of 39, hirsutism present. This is one type
This
of
conference
presentation of
will now
PCOS.
be recorded.
Then the second presentation, a lady of 25 years came with complaints of amenorrhea more than 7 months. Then weight gain, palpitation, hair distribution on face. Menstrual history, men are at the age of 11 years, cycles irregular, 1 to 2 days per 35 to 40 days, and scanty menstruation. This is duration for 5 years. Then the menstrual history is 1 day per 90 to 100 days. The interval is so big. Now amenorrhea. Now she is complaining of amenorrhea, no menstruation for the last 6 months. Then she was on the treatment of metformin and oxypills. This is another presentation. The next one is a student of 20 years came with complaining of menorrhagia more than 15 days. Previously, there is amenorrhea. Now it is menorrhagia more than 15 days. Giddiness, history of irregular menstruation, mostly withdrawal bleeding are there. On examination, lean patient, hirsutism positive, no acanthosis nigricans here. On USG, multiple subcentimeter follicles or of both ovaries arranged in peripherally more than 12 in numbers. This is another presentation of PCO, that is the lean PCO. Then another presentation is a couple came for infertility management. Period of married life is more than 11 years, having history of recurrent miscarriages. So that is, she conceived 3 times, G3, gravida 3, para 0, abortion 3, and living child 0. Conceived 3 times, but there is no living child. That is, this is also a case of mandhyada. Nowadays, not even got conceived. Menstrual history irregular with a scanty menstruation once in 3 to 4 months. Severe obesity, diabetic and stressed lady. Ovulation induction failed due to ovarian hyperactivity. This is another presentation. So we can see there are so many presentations with the PCOS, not a single presentation. So it is considered as PCOS is not a single disease. It is a group of symptoms and having it is not a gynecological disease. It is a metabolic disease. How the manifestation in the gynecological area and how the effect in gynecological problems. Okay. Then we can continue the introduction of PCOS. It's a common endocrine disorder in women of reproductive age group. 5 to 8% of general population can be affected. 40% of women with infertility. Then for the prevalence of PCOS, 3 to 20% and the 70% remaining undiagnosed. See, the ice cube above the sea level is a small percentage that only diagnosed, and the ice cube below the sea level is large, huge. It is undiagnosed. This is the picture of PCOS nowadays. Regarding the definition of PCOS, its most frequent endocrinopathy is usually present at puberty, characterized by chronic anovulation and hyperandrogenism, presents clinically with the menstrual disturbances, hirsutism, acne, and androgen-dependent alopecia, also associated with obesity and metabolic abnormalities, insulin-resistant, dyslipidemia, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. By this definition, we can see all the metabolic irregularities associated with the gynecological irregularities or hormonal disturbances. Then PCOS is a health problem that can affect fertility, menstrual cycle, hormones, insulin production, heart and blood vessels, and the appearance of the lady. This problem can affect all these things. Then PCOS affects in 1 in 10 women in the world. 70% of women have the PCOD, have not had it properly diagnosed. Less than 50% of women are properly diagnosed, and more than 50% of women with PCOS will have diabetes before the age of 40. PCOS is most common cause of infertility in female, or affecting the fertility in female. Then this is the picture of polycystic ovary, and the other side is the normal ovary. Then the normal ovary, there is no problem with the regular cortex and medulla, and with the polycystic ovary having small sub-centimeter follicles around the periphery in a necklace pattern. That is, ovary is wearing a white colored necklace. This is the cross section of ovary. As all know that the ovary is a paired sex gland having cortex and medulla. This gland, the cortex is the functional unit of the ovary, containing maturing follicles and ovulation and corpus luteum, etc. The cortex area and the medulla area, there is blood vessels, veins, and muscles of the ovary. In this, there is theca. In the theca itself, the Graafian follicle, there is the ovum or oocyte is there. Ovulated oocyte having corona radiata. No, not the now called corona. It is corona radiata in the ovum. Then, okay, it is explained as pleiades sex glands. This is the polycystic ovary, a view. This is another view. The diagnostic criteria for PCOS is Rotterdam's 2003 criteria is relevant nowadays also. Ovulatory dysfunctions such as amenorrhea or oligomenorrhea, clinical or biochemical evidence of hyperandrogenism, and polycystic ovarian morphology on USS defined as a presence of 12 or more follicles in each ovary and an increased ovarian volume of more than 10 ml. We all know the normal ovarian volume is less than 6 ml or up to 6 ml, or it is varying 6 to 7 to 8. If it arranges 10 ml, we call it
Then-
as bulky ovary. More than
Okay,
10 ml, it is
explain,
bulky
okay,
ovaries.
explain.
This is the polycystic ovary review. The diagnosis
This
of
is another
polycystic
view.
ovary may be
The diagnostic
ovarian
criteria
volume
for
is more than
PCOS
10
is
ml.
Rotterdam's 2003 criteria
Some cases
is
considering there are 40
relevant
ml,
nowadays
21
also.
ml,
Ovulatory
16 ml,
dysfunctions
and 24 ml, etc. The ovarian volume can reach such a place, but the normal ovary is less than 10 ml in the volume. So our treatment should be aimed to reduce ovarian size too, that the ovarian edema too, reduce the ovarian edema too. As our treatment concern, after the scanning of third month or 6 months, it is evidently and cut shorting the edema of the ovary. Then we can see the gradual reduce the volume, that is up to 10, 11, 9, etc. Then any two of the above criteria, three criteria are recommended to diagnose the PCOS after excluding the other case of androgen excess. Polycystic ovaries on USS can be seen 20% of normally ovulating women. So, if there is a woman having just only the polycystic ovaries in ultrasound, there are so many people came to us that is, they have no problem, no menstrual problem, no ovulation problem, having children, and they have only the problem by while doing an ultrasound, they accidentally diagnosed as polycystic ovaries. There are so many cases, but don't afraid that that is a normal case, but they may be the metabolic, there may be the pre-runner of metabolic disorder. So catch them and advise them for proper diet, strict diet and good exercise for preventing the metabolic disorders in future. Then in clinical practice, anovulation and hyperandrogenism are still the major criteria for diagnosis of PCOS. PCOS is mainly a combination of anovulation and ovarian hyperandrogenism. Then pathogenesis. Insulin resistant and hyperinsulinemia are seen in most cases of PCOS. In normoinsulinic group, hypersecretion of LH is the main pathology. Then first is insulin resistant and hyperinsulinemia. If there is normoinsulin, then hypersecretion of LH is the main pathology. Hyperandrogenism is mainly ovarian due to both LH hypersecretion and hyperinsulinemia. Hyperandrogenism leading to dyslipidemia. Thus, the metabolic error starts. In ovary, inhibin is increasing, then FSH is decreasing. Inhibin stimulates androgen production, which in turn stimulates inhibin secretion. This inhibits follicular development and thus ovulation. Ovarian hyperresponsive to the gonadotrophins, that of theca cells, to LH, excess androgen, that of granulosa cells, then FSH and excess estrogen, that is E3. Here in PCOS, the excess estrogen is not good estrogen, that is E2 estradiol, it is E3 estriol. Then genetic component, familial clustering with sisters showing the same clinical picture. Defect in insulin receptor gene, both sex-linked and autosomal genes are considered. Clinical presentation. Most common is as menstrual discomfort along with hirsutism. 50 to 70% of the cases are obese. So 30% of the 50 to 30% of cases are lean. There is also obese PCOS and lean PCOS. Menstrual disorders, amenorrhea to oligomenorrhea. All the menstrual irregularities starting from amenorrhea, oligomenorrhea, hypomenorrhea, menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, menometrorrhagia are seen in the different types of PCOS or different stages of PCOS. All the menstrual irregularities can see. Then amenorrhea is usually secondary. That is primary amenorrhea. There are so many other causes. Then hyperandrogenism, hirsutism, acne, and seborrhea are the results of hyperandrogenism. Then In the female body, these are the sites where the PCOS can affect. Depression 20 to 60%, acne, insulin resistance, high insulin resistance in the throat giving, acanthosis nigricans, then type 2 diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular issues, irregular menstruation, sexual dysfunction, polycystic ovaries, fertility issues. As menstrual irregularities are going through, there are so many sexual problems are there. Easy weight gain or obesity, that is android obesity, hyperandrogenism, having so much hairs, etc. Then anxiety, hirsutism, facial hair, etc. Then poor body image eating disorders, and finally the scalp hair loss, that is the frontal baldness. These are the different ways. Then acne with hirsutism, this is a picture. There are the large acne having due to the excess hyperandrogenism. So excess androgenism. This is hirsutism. We can see so many cases of hirsutism. This is acanthosis nigricans. There is a roughening and the darkening of the skin of nape of neck, chest, neck, etc. Then obesity, 50 to 70% of cases with obesity. Obesity can be assessed by BMI. Normal BMI is 18.5 to 24.9, overweight 25 to 29.9, and obese more than 30 BMI. Waist circumference more than 80 centimeter considered as significant in the foreign countries. According to the Kerala, the waist circumference more than 90 centimeter is considered as overweight, because here the broad of waist is more. Then acanthosis nigricans, in 5% of cases it can see definite sign of insulin resistance. The other name of PCOS is Steen-Levenstam syndrome, there is one, and Hair-An syndrome, that is hyperandrogenism, insulin resistance, and acanthosis nigricans. Then infertility is very commonly associated with the PCOS. Increased miscarriage rate probably due to increased LH level secretions. PCOS and infertility. Then 6 to 10% of general population has PCOS. Consequence of anovulation is infertility. 40% of patients suffer from infertility. 90% conceived by proper management. That is the clear passage management of Ayurveda helps to conceive 90% of women. Then 95% can be conceived from other, 95% can be saved from other comorbid conditions like cardiovascular disease, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, etc. Then the differential diagnosis of PCOS are the hypothyroidism. In hypothyroidism, there also the presentation is menorrhagia or amenorrhea or scanty menstruation, hypomenorrhea, etc. Then the hyperprolactinemia. In hyperprolactinemia also there is anovulation. That is Vandhyanam Kshiranadhyastu Vadena Paripurida Tasma Kshiram cha Adhigam Bhave. So there is anovulation. Androgen secreting tumors of ovary and adrenals. And here also there is hyperandrogenism can be seen. Then late onset of congenital adrenal hyperplasia, Cushing syndrome, etc. These are the differential diagnosis of PCOS. Then the investigations. First, ultrasound scan to rule out ovarian tumors and to count the presence of PCO. Sonographic criteria is multiple more than 12 small, that is 2 to 8 mm peripheral cyst or nectar pattern, dense echogenic stroma, and enlarged ovaries of more than 10 ml. Nowadays, the scan research shows that there is the presence of multiple cystic ovaries having increase in stromal volume, and the ovaries are enlarged to this much, etc. That are the clinical, in the ultrasound presentation we can get. So, the ultrasound is one of the investigation. Then, the second one, this is the ultrasonic appearance of polycystic ovaries with a necklace pattern. Then the hormonal investigations, thyroid function test, prolactin to rule out hyperprolactinemia, and 50% of PCOS also having prolactinemia. So we can treat hyperprolactinemia also. Free testosterone for the androgen excess. Then DHEAS, dihydroepiandrosterone. 17 alpha OH progesterone is the late onset of congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Increased LH and FSH ratio. Then test to detect metabolic problem, a fasting blood sugar and 75-gram glucose tolerance test, lipid profile, marker for insulin resistance, that is fasting glucose to fasting insulin ratio. A ratio below 4.5 is normal. Then the various clinical presentations in PCOS. The presenting problems may be varied. Some may present with the complaints of amenorrhea, some oligomenorrhea, then DUB, dysfunctional uterine bleeding, and hirsutism, acne. In college students, they complain of acne and hair fall, etc. only. Then obesity, then infertility. Pregnancy-related complications are recurrent miscarriage, ovarian hyperstimulation, gestational diabetes, and preeclampsia. Long-term problems are type 2 diabetes mellitus, hyperlipidemia, hyperchances for coronary artery disease, non-alcoholic hepatitis, and adenocarcinoma of uterus. So, in modern people, they say that PCOS, if there is children, there is no need for any treatment. Let it go. But according to Ayurveda, it should be treated because if PCOS left untreated, which leads to long-term problems like this type 2 diabetes, hyperlipidemia, NASH, etc. I have a patient having 32 years with adenocarcinoma of uterus. History and menarche at 11 years and irregular periods from 13 years. She used to take OC pills and progesterone for withdrawal bleeding. Firstly, she consulted a gynecologist. Then she does not consult any gynecologist, but she simply take that medicine. She know this medicine can bring periods and this medicine can stop periods. So she used injudiciously, and after her marriage also having no child, and then she used the hormone pills. Then there is menorrhagia, severe menorrhagia after use of tranexaminic acid or any other hematostatic group of drugs. She never stopped the menstruation and came to me by analyzing the endometrial hyperplasia and histopathological examination shows the adenocarcinoma of uterus. I simply refer the case scan. Thus, we cannot do anything at that condition after arriving the endometrial adenocarcinoma of the uterus. So, the PCOS is one of the problem we have to treat, and we have to educate them without leaving PCOS and without any metabolic disturbances. We must have to treat the condition. Then, metabolic syndrome or syndrome X. Type 2 diabetes is increasing at an alarming rate in adolescents. PCOS can be considered for a forerunner of metabolic syndrome. Nowadays, there is school-going students of 15 years, 16 years having diabetes, and they are having, they are seeking other source of sugar, that is sucrose, etc. The National Cholesterol Education Program, NCEP, the results adult treatment plan, ATP3, suggested following criteria for the diagnosis in females if they are having any metabolic disorder. Female waist more than 88 centimeter and triglyceride level more than 150 milligram per DL, HDL less than 50 milligram, and BP more than or equal to 130 by 86, fasting blood sugar level more than or equal to 110. If the values are this much, she may be having or forerunner for diabetes or for having metabolic disorder, metabolic syndrome or syndrome H. The atherosclerosis is also one of the side effects of PCOS or the metabolic disorder. The plating of the lipids around the blood vessels, around the internal lamina of the blood vessel, lumen of the blood vessel. Then the management of PCOS. And firstly, the management of presenting complaint, because the patient approaches with a different presenting complaints. Initially maybe amenorrhea, so we have to produce menstruation, or there is hair fall, we have to stop the hair fall, and or there is acne, we have to treat the acne, like that management of presenting complaint. But the underlying root pathology is same, so we have to educate them initially. regarding the PCOS management, education is the first thing. Patient education with a strict diet and good exercise, because mostly the PCOS are affecting the sedentary lifestyle girls, having more sweets and junk food, etc. So we have to stop all of them. Then management of long-term sequelae, lifestyle modification by diet and regular moderate aerobic exercise for at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week. It is needed. Line of treatment in obese PCOS. Weight loss may restore ovulation and fertility either alone or in combination with ovulation-inducing drugs they can achieve. Then insulin sensitizers improves insulin resistance. Insulin sensitizers in modern they use metformin like that medicine. In Ayurveda we can use Tiktagam Kashayam. It is insulin sensitizer, and Nimbadi Kashayam said in Sahasra Yoga. Most of the Kerala doctors are aware of Nimbadi Kashaya, that is Nimbasya Tol, Amrudu Chukku Varattu Manjal, Pasha Phalatraya Padola Nidikthigana, Padam, Samakshigapuram, Pulare Kudicha, Dehe Kurita Guru, Veru Marunali. This is one of the Malayalam yoga in Sahasra Yoga. So much implication in insulin resistance also. Then network connected difficulties. Hello? 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 Having
Yes, doctor, we can hear you. No problem. There is
Yes,
some
we can
break
hear
in
you,
the
hello,
voice.
doctor?
We can hear you.
Yes, doctor, we can hear you.
Your
here
voice
there,
is breaking,
yes,
but your
there.
voice is breaking, doctor. Yes,
Doctor,
your
can
voice
you
is
repeat
breaking.
those
Hello?
medicines once again?
Insulin sensitizer medicines, doctor, once again.
Insulin sensitizers improving insulin resistance. In modern they use metformin like glyphosate, etc. But in Ayurveda we have so many insulin sensitizers like Tiktagam Kashayam, Nimbadi Kashayam. Nimbadi Kashayam is Kerala doctors are familiar about the Nimbadi Kashayam. It is seen in the Sahasra. There are so many voices hearing. There are so many voices. Hello? 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 Hello?
Yes, doctor. Yes,
Hello,
I
is
think
there
now
any
it
voice
is
problem?
clear.
Is there any
No, no,
problem?
no. Now it is
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Okay. Then the Nimbadi Kashayam, Nimbasya Amrudu Chukku Varattu Manjal, Pasha Phalatraya Padola Nidikthigana, Padam Samakshigapuram, Pulare Kudichal, Dehe Kurutta Kuru, Veru Marunali. This is the Kashaya mentioned in Sahasra Yoga. This Kashayam has insulin resistivity action and also having the ovulation the PCOD curing action. That is, here there is Dehe Kurutta Guru Veru Marunali. Here in PCOS, there are so many cystic areas in the ovary. That is Aveva Asrada. So we use this medicine for more than or equal to 3 months. Then there are another, so many choice of insulin resistance like Hyponidop, Charaga, and Nidfort, and so many medications are available. But our classic medicines like Tiktagam Kashayam, Gulgulu Tiktagam, and Nimbadi Kashaya, etc. are also having good insulin resistive activity. And then the management of clinical situations like amenorrhea, progesterone for withdrawal, that is used by modern medicine. The Ayurvedic people can use so many medicines for the withdrawal bleeding, because our aim of treatment is to the complete cure of the PCOS. But if there is more than 3 months or 6 months amenorrhea, there may be chance for getting endometrial hyperplasia. So we have to produce withdrawal bleeding once in 3 months at least. So we have to use so many drugs. There are simple tamarind juice, that is 30 gram of tamarind in 30 ml or a half glass hot water, waiting for 30 minutes, choose well and use early morning for 3 days, 3 consecutive days. It is one of the home remedies for producing withdrawal bleeding, tamarind juice. Then another method is here the Kerala having abundance of Drona Pushpi, that is Lucas aspera. the Leucospora cerasa and the jaggery, that is the Kariputti, it is also used for getting the 30 ml of Leucospora, that is Dronapushpi cerasa with jaggery, can use this type, that is 3 days for withdrawal bleeding. And the other one is we can use for withdrawal bleeding is Krishnatila, that is black sesame, and Methi, that is fenugreek or uluva. Then the Karinjira, that is black cumin. These three in equal quantity, 1 teaspoon, and boiled in 6 glass water, reduced to 3 glass or half, and then add 5 Dhanvantaram Gulika, then some Petsheba of the Shundi Churna and Jaggery. Take half glass, half hour intermittently for 3 days or 5 days. These also produce the menstruation or the withdrawal bleeding. If all these soft measures are failing, then we have to use some Tikshna medicines for producing menstruation. According to our Ayurveda, that is Tikshna Ushna, Dedhimalsya Kulatha, etc. That is Tikshna Ushna medicines for getting menstruation. One combination is there, that is the betel leaf. Betel leaf, 3 numbers, and the Garcinia, that is 7 petals of Garcinia, Prikshamla, and then 3 grains of pepper, 3 petals of allium, Leshuna, and 1 bit of ginger, and 1 bit of turmeric, and if available, 3 buds of hibiscus. All the 3 make in a paste and take in the early morning. But be aware that if the patient is in Pitta Prakriti and having in more Pitta aggravated state, please don't use this type of Tikshna drugs. Then use the other methods like Kulatha water, Tilla water, etc. These all we can produce menstruation for withdrawal. So, or withdrawal bleeding. In DUB means dysfunctional uterine bleeding. There are so many presentations in PCOS, that is the menstruation lacking for 2 months, then starts menstruation, then gets spotting, and after 1 week spotting, then sometimes bleeding, and then 2 to 3 days bleeding, again spotting, then again bleeding, and like that there is no days free from menstruation, or there is no days with good menstruation. These are the another clinical feature of PCOS. Menorrhagia in PCOS. So we have to control the PCOS. That is, we have to control the menorrhagia. So initially we can use the Musli Khadradi Kashayam with the Pushyanuga Churnam and honey twice daily, and then we can use if care of medicines like Uteronofort, etc. Then M214, etc. for controlling this menstrual bleeding, and Himalaya House Tiplon and point, etc. the capsules for controlling withdrawal bleeding. In even our Pravala Basma is very good choice in milk for controlling the menorrhagia in PCOS. And also there is some home remedies like the Mukkutti, that is the Bryophyllum sensitivum, that plant, Mukkutti Samula Sarasa, 3 Mukkutti with a half teaspoon Jeeraga, Samula and Palkashaya milk decoction. It's also very good for controlling bleeding. The Pittal leaf, that is the banyan tree leaf also, which is with the milk decoction also controls the withdrawal bleeding. There are another, control the menorrhagia in DUB. There are another medications like that is the Abamarga, red variety of Abamarga, and Abamarga Sarasa in curd and in milk also, and check the bleeding of the menorrhagia of PCOS. Then once a menorrhagia can stop, then we have to treat the underlying pathology, that is the PCOS. And so initially if there is menorrhagia, we have to stop the menorrhagia initially. If there is some little bleeding, just we have to left, that is because bindu pramanena masipyartho there is that is pravartati. So if there is no complaining of the HD level decreasing or no complaining of any palpitation or no complaining from the patient, we can left. But it is also it having it give a negative impact on the endometrial health. So we have to control bleeding and we have to control bleeding and we have to regain the normalcy of the endometrium properly with our medication. Then hirsutism, the modern people use OCT, oral contraceptive pills, and anti-androgynous cosmetic procedures like electrolysis, laser, etc. But as far as Ayurveda practitioners are concerned, we have to treat the hirsutism. But initially, we have to treat with the PCOS, and we have to treat for the hyperandrogenism. Then only we can treat the hirsutism. But we have some medicines for treating the hirsutism, that is the Gandhaka Rasayana. And Gandhaka means the sulfur. That is the Gandhaka is considered as the Artava of Parvati. That is, it is anti-androgenic. So we can use in honey and in the affected areas, and then for half an hour, then we can wash this area. Honey or in rose water we can use the Gandhaka Rasayana. Gandhaka Rasayanas are available in our shops or here. The other drug of hirsutism is Kaja Mukhalebam of Raja Ayurvedics. The another drug of piece so the hirsutism is there is a combination mentioned in Susruta. It is teached by one of my senior doctor, Dr. Bhavani Amma from Wayanad. That is, she teach me the method, and I adopt that and use in our treatment. It gives good results for treating the hirsutism. That is an equal quantity of Shuddha Shangabhasma, Shuddha Haridala, Shuddha Manashila, equal quantity, and Bhavana in banana root Swarasa, and or the Kramuka Swarasa or the Bhuga Swarasa, etc. Then for 7 days and powdered well, and then apply with the rose water in the affected area for half an hour. It gives gradual destruction of the androgen hair, and initially it taper the size of the hair and the color, size, and the hardness of the hair, and gradually it disappears. It is the best choice for the treatment of hirsutism nowadays. The Shuddha Shuddha Shangabhasma, Shuddha Haridala, and Shuddha Manashila equal quantity. Bhavana in banana root Swarasa or the Puga Kramuga Swarasa, and dried well, powdered well, apply with the rose water for half an hour daily. The application for daily. Then infertility, ovulation induction in modern and Ayurveda. We have also giving ovulation induction with our Tilakpada Krida Guda Vyosha Bharni Rejonyuda. Or we can have ovulation induction with the Sugumaram Kashayam with Mandugabani Sarasam. Mandugabani is also considered as good ovulation inducing drug. Nowadays, the Shantigiri Ayurveda they produce Vellary tablet. This is merely the Mandugabani tablet, which very much helps in that is Mandugabani is available in all the seasons. Is not available, so the tablet form is available nowadays. We can treat it with that is Vellary tablet 202 for inducing ovulation, and also we can use the tablet like Anit-4, that is the Anitsova or the Shatapushpa. It also helps for inducing ovulation. Then Aloes compound, there is another tablet, Aloes compound, that is the Kumari and etc., which also helps to induce ovulation and with the infertility. Then insulin resistance, lifestyle management and metformin are modern. We also adopt the lifestyle management, and then instead of metformin, we can use so many drugs like I earlier mentioned, and the Kanmada Rasayana and the Shila combination, which also very much effective in the insulin resistance management of PCOS. The Kanmada Rasayana and the Kaudaja Triphala, which also available here. In Sitaram, there is Kaudaja Triphala having this Kaudaja Triphala containing also the Kanmada and Triphala and such combinations. Then the Vilangatanduladi Churna, etc. These all drugs check the metabolic error and insulin resistance, because Kanmada has very much effect in the Pasti Pradesha and in that region. And also it has effect in the Medas and in the insulin sensitizers. It can use easily for the treatment of PCOS nowadays. Prevention of long-term sequelae. Lifestyle modification by diet and exercise is the best. Regular follow-up with early oral GTT and lipid profile. Regular vitreal bleed should be induced at least once in 2 months to prevent occurrence of adenocarcinoma of the uterus. Then, when broadly classifying as the PCOS into two, in the modern there are so many type of PCOS, that is infective PCOS and iatrogenic PCOS and like that. But according to Ayurveda, the PCOS into two areas, that is the obese PCOS or the Sandarpana of the PCOS and the lean PCOS or the Abdarpana of the PCOS. The treatment modalities can be adopted in these two different ways. In obese PCOS, we can treat with Langhana Chikitsa, Adhistaulya Chikitsa, etc. And in lean PCOS, we can treat with here the hypothalamo-pituitary ovarian axis is hampered must. So we can treat with the drugs having influence in the higher mental function, Medhirasayana, Kalyana Krida, Kalyana Kashaya, and Sugumaran Kashaya with the Mandugavanni, Changapushpi, and etc. We can treat with this type of drugs, and stress management is one of the most important treatment in PCOS. Then laparoscopic procedures, usually done in women, resistance of ovarian inducers, diathermy and ovarian drilling, birth resection, etc. can be done. Spontaneous ovulation in 90% cases, pregnancy outcome is 60%. This is the modern method. Then according to Ayurveda, there is no direct mention of the disease unless there is just mention, that is Vradha Pushpam Dhanari Edhagalam Rabashyadi Stula Lomasha Gandasa Pushpatni Sabi Revadi in the Revadi or Pushpatni Jadaharani Vradha Pushpam Du Yanari Edhagalam Rabashyadi. There is an ovulation, there may or may not be proper menstruation. Then correlation symptomatologically, menstrual irregularities, that is arthovyabas and yoniromas, menstrual irregularities can be come under, and the anovulation and amenorrhea, it is come under the Bandhyada. Then obesity, Nastaulya, Asne and badness in Mukhadushika, Khaladi, etc. Then hirsutism and adiloma, Ashtanindita Purusha, Adilomacha, Alomacha, Adistaulascha, Adikashascha, etc. Adistaulischa, Adikashascha, etc. Then hyperinsulinemia, Prameha, Staulya, etc. There. Then all these are including Vradha Pushpam Du Yanari, Yadhagalam Ramashis, Stula, Lomasaganda. These are the clinical picture of PCOS. Then Arthovyabat in PCOS, Doshe Ravrada Margatva, the Artavam Nashiri Striya. Here, the marga of Artava are blocked by the increased dosha. Atra dosha kabhovayu vadaka bescha. Amenorrhea manifests if srodhas are encircled by kapha and vada. We well know that there are two types of vada visation, that is one thing with the margavaroda and the other thing with the dhadukshaya. Here, the margavaroda vada visation resulting in amenorrhea in obese PCOS and dhadukshaya vada visation resulting in amenorrhea in lean PCOS. We can consider like that. Then, bandhya nashtartavam vidya. Then, suspected vyadhi gadagas in PCOS are dosha, kabha vada, and dhadu, rasa, meda, and stri shukra, ubadhadu, rajas, mala, sveda, roma, etc. Then srodhas, resavaha, artavaha, medovaha, and shukravaha srodhas. Agni, concept of ama. Here, Jadarakni and Dhatvatni Mandya. Rasa, Rekta and Shukra Dhatwagni Mandyas are there. Shukra, as far as Shukra is considered, Kayasya Teja, Paramamhi Shukra, Aharasara, Abhisara Bodham. So if there is the Jadarakni Mandya and Dhatwagni Mandya, then the Uttara Dhadugada Parinama is hampered. Thereby, the proper formation of Shukra or Sri Shukra is also hampered due to this Agni Mandya. Ayurvedic management or treatment principle. Vada Kapavarda Marganam Apravartamanam Pittalaihi Ubajare Tat Pravartamanam. So I mentioned earlier that is the taste notion drugs like Kulathari, Kashaya, and the Kulatha, the betel leaf combination, etc. The Pittalaihi, the Damaratra, these all are the Pittalaihi Ubajare Tat Pravartamanam. Vada Kapavarda Marganam Apravartamanam Pittalaihi Ubajare. Then Tatra Samshodhanam Aknayanam Chadrevyanam Vidhibhadugayogaha. Shodhana Chikitsa is needed, then Akneya Drevyanam Vidhivat Upayoga is needed. That is because menstruation is Akneya. Artham is Akneya. Then Samshevadaha Kriya Yoga Nidana Parivarjanam. Here, avoidance of sedentary lifestyle initially and avoidance of sweet, salty, fatty, junk food and that type of materials intake and sedentary lifestyle, day sleeping, etc. These are the Nidana Parivarjana needed for the management of PCOS. Then Saumanasyam Garbhadharanam Sreshtam. Here, the stress, one of the main thing of PCOS is stress. Both obese and lean PCOS, there is stress factor, but in lean PCOS, the stress is more serious. So, Saumanasyam Garbhadharanam Sreshtam, classification and Dhithaidyatmadi Vijnanam and the medicines acting in higher mental function are also essential, and the medicines like Shirovasti, Shirodhara, Nasya, etc. are also having important in while treating the lean PCOS or while producing the Saumanasyam, which leads to Garbhadharanam. Then treatment options: Lankhana Chikitsa, Adhistaulya Chikitsa, Prameha Chikitsa, etc. for obese PCOS, Rekta Gulma Chikitsa for menorrhagia in PCOS, treatment related with Medhi Rasayana is for lean PCOS, Garbhashaya Shodhaka Dravya Prayoga for Shodhana, that is the Deshamulam, Nalinam Sprika, Eranda Shipascha, Paye, Sapaya, Kwada, Garbhashaya Vishuddhe, Deshamulam, Chengayunir Piranga, and then Sprika, Jonaga Pulla, then Eranda Shifa. Eranda Shifa means the tender buds of Ricinus camerunis. This combination is very good for Garbhashaya Shodhana. Then generally, Kabhavadahara and Pittakara Chikitsa is needed. Then cosmetic treatment can also include for treating the PCOS, Mukhadoshiga, Asne, etc. Hirsutism, Asne, etc. Then Shodhana Chikitsa. Here, Svedana, Avagaha Sveda is effective. Then Vamana, if the Kaphavrata Margam, then Vamana, if the patient having more in Kapha, then do Vamana. Then if the patient have more Vada visitation, then do Vasti. Vasti with Dashamulika Vasti, then Saptasarang Kashaya Vasti, Gandharva Hastadi Kashaya Vasti. These are also very much effective in treating the PCOS. Then Nasya, if PCOS, if the menorrhagia is not stopping with any of the hematinic medicine, then we can use Nasya like Vasha Swarasa 8 drops or Durva Swarasa 8 drops in each nostrils for 3 days. This is for Nasya, because Nasya Karmana Rudur Vyabhadyade or Yoni Ribashishyade. So here we need the Shoshana of Yoni because there is heavy bleeding. We need the Rudu Vyabhat or Yoni Shosha. So we do Nasya. And the other thing, for producing menstruation in lean PCOS also, the Nasya Karma is very much effective. That is Nasaya Shiraso Dwaram, Shirasi, Indriyani, Indriya Pranavahani Srodamsi, Suryamiva, Gabaste, Samsridani. So for action in the higher mental function or Shiras, Nasya is the easy route. So we can use Nasya for producing menstruation lean PCOS with Dhanvantaram Gridam, Varanadi Kshira Gridam, etc. We can use Nasya. Then Uttaravasti. Uttaravasti, if we need any Uttaravasti cleaning with the Saptasara Uttaravasti is also effective. This Uttaravasti is only doing us intravaginal, not in intracervical. Okay, if there is endometrial hyperplasia, if there is an adhesion due to the DNC of endometrial hyperplasia, then we can do intracervical Uttaravasti for relieving the adhesions with the Narayana Taila, Shara Taila, etc. If there is adhesions only, we can do intracervical Uttaravasti. Otherwise, we can use intravaginal Uttaravasti. Then Snehabana not preferable here. And Sadhya Sneha may be used. In lean PCOS, we can use Snehabana with the Kalyana Krida, etc. In obese PCOS, we can use Sadhya Sneha for the production of Shodhana, that is Vamana or Vasti, etc. Then common preparations used are Palasha Kwadam, Kanashada Kwadi, Lodhradiganam, Sugumara Kwadam, Saptasarang Kwadam, etc. Then Chitra Grandhyadi Kwada, Varanadi Kwada, these also having some role. Then Kanjanara Bulgulu, Rajapravartanivadi, Mandura Vadagam, Ashogarishtam, Lohasavam, Kumaryasavam, etc. This Ashogarishtam, etc. can use in the menorrhagia condition of PCOS. Kumaryasavam and Lohasavam, etc. we can use in use for production, inducing ovulation also, and with a Pulingoyamba, etc. Then we can use Ayaskriti, Lodhrasam, etc. for the treatment of PCOS also. Then Kalyana Kasharam with the Triangular Kashayam also good for reducing the size of the cyst and reduce and after 3 months of Triangular and Kalyana Kasharam, then the PCOS amount of PCOS may be so many reduced and the size of the ovaries also shrunken. Then Garbhashya Shodha Kashayam as mentioned earlier. Then Chidivilyadi Kridam, Hinguvajadi Churnam, Ashoga Kridam, and Gobi Chandanadi Guliga, Nirgundyadi Kashayam, Arthavilyam Kashayam, etc. can be used. Nirgundyadi Kashayam we can use in the condition of any infections related to it. There are so many conditions as an infective etiology with ultimately reflecting the PCOS. We can use Nirgundyadi Kashaya with Vilyadi Guliga or Gobi Chandanadi Guliga. Then Arthavilyam Kashaya is one of the Kerala Kashaya, that is Arthavilyam Arakku Jeeragam, Eshti Rushagam Pavumaitte, Vacha Kashayam Andodu, Panchasankhyan Kudikilo, Paduthalanya Branangal, Andarvidhyadi Pidagadigal, Karshyamarudamete, Sarpa Shirasupoludungidum. This Kashaya is mentioned in the chronic undervidrity condition. Here, after the prophylaxis treatment of hepatocellular carcinoma and after the treatment of undervidrity, large cystic area, etc., the Arthavilyam Kashaya having so much effect. It can use only for 5 days in a month. And for 5 days in a month, then next month 5 days, and next month 5 days it can use. Containing the Laksha, cumin seed, HT, and Parushaga, and Sina power. That is the Madhusnufi, purified Madhusnufi. This is the magic drug as far as females are concerned. That is the Shatapushpa, having Shatapushpa in each inflorescence. The Shatapushpa, Putraprada, Viryagiri, Shatapushpa Nidarshida. As explaining Acharya Kashyapa in his Kashyapa Samhita Shatapushpa Shadavariyam Kalpam, the action of Shatapushpa is mentioned in various factors. With the various Anubana, it can use for the treatment. And he also mentioned that Rajo Nivrtinancha Putrada. So, Rajo Nivrtinancha Putrada. So, we have to use this Shatapushpa in the hormonal conditions of PCOS. That is, if the PCOS with the anovulation, we can use Shatapushpa Churna. If the PCOS end with the premature ovarian failure in initial stage, we can easily treat with the Shatapushpa Churna. Shatapushpa Churna having various Anubana, Agniga, Mastu, Madhuna, Belina, Kshira, Sarpisha, etc. There are various Anubana for Shatapushpa for various purposes, like that of Narayana Churna. Shatapushpa can use with milk. And Shatapushpa can use with Malsivasa, and it can use with Mamsarasa, it can use with Khadirasara, etc. For different conditions. So, Shatapushpa can use in the hormonal balance of females, and Shatapushpa can produce hormonal balance easily. And there are one condition, that is the AMH, anti-Mullerian hormone deficient condition in infertility. That also we can treat with a Shatapushpa. And for that, Shatapushpa Churna 5 to 10 gram according to the acne of the patient is taken, and according to proper Anubana we can give. And the other Rasayana medicines we can give in PCOS are the Lishna Rasayana, then also the Sarshapataila also we can use. If the PCOS with the hyperplatinemia, then we can use Sarshapataila. Sarshapataila also 10 ml twice daily. According to the acne of the patient, it can be given. Then the Pathyam, regarding the Pathyam, that is according to the text, diet made with the barley, Abhayarishtam, Sidu, Tailam, powdered pipali, Pathya, and Lohabasma with honey. That is Evanam, Abhayarishtam, Sidum, Tailam, Jashile, Pipali, Ayorja Pathyani, Prayogamsa Samachigan. This is according to the textbook. Then more diets for PCOS, splitting fats from friction. The PCOS they have very much affinity to food. Most often the obese PCOS have very much affinity to sweet things, food, junk food, and sedentary life, sleep, etc. So cut down the evening calories. The evening calories, if we cut the evening calories, it will help to normalize our hormones, induce ovulation, and treat infertility. So cut down the evening calories. Then caloric deficit of 3,500 to 7,000 per week is ideal according to the World Health Organization. Then further, monosaturated fatty acids. Monosaturated fatty acids not helps to fight against insulin resistance associated with the PCOS. We can use walnuts, nuts, etc. for in a limited dose, that is 5 to 10 per day. We can use for fight against the insulin resistance. Use low GI carbohydrates, that is low glucose glycemic index carbohydrate. Take much longer time to digest. Low GI carbohydrate take much longer time to digest, so cause only small or slow rise in blood glucose and the insulin level. So we can use low GI carbs. Slow steady supply of energy. They provide steady supply of energy. Most non-starchy vegetables, legumes, and fruits have low GI. Non-starchy vegetables, legumes, and fruits have low GI index. Refined carbohydrates rich food have a high GI. So please avoid refined carbohydrate food with a high glycemic index. Then load on vitamin B. B group vitamins have very much effect in the treatment of PCOS, in the treatment of any other metabolic syndrome. Vitamin B group having much effective. The vitamin B in sunflower seeds beats PCOS symptoms. Then vitamin B2 converts dietary fat, protein, and carbohydrate into energy. Vitamin B3 maintain normal blood sugar level. Vitamin B5 controls metabolism and weight loss. Vitamin B6, hormonal balance and fertility. Also in the absorption of zinc in the intestine, help in the absorption of zinc in the intestine. In addition to this, vitamin B2, B3, and B6 are essential for the normal thyroid function and metabolism, and can thus help to reduce excess body weight. So, for the treatment of PCOS, we have to use vitamin B in our treatment. Ensure sufficient intake of calcium and vitamin D. Calcium plays an important role in egg maturation and follicle development in the ovaries. Vitamin D is essential for promoting calcium absorption from food in the intestine. In addition, low level of vitamin D and calcium have been associated with other problems related to PCOS, including infertility, weight gain, and insulin resistance. So, sufficient amount of calcium and vitamin D are essential. Ensure the proper intake of micronutrients like zinc, magnesium, and chromium. With the tomatoes, Roman lettuce, etc., we can have this. So, ensure the proper intake of these micronutrients also. Then, the importance of yoga or exercise is very much in the treatment of PCOS. There may be regular aerobic exercise for at least 30 minutes. We have to insist them for doing 1 hour exercise, then only they do 30 minutes exercise. So 1 hour exercise we have to insist them with any type of exercise like Zumba dance or and healthy walking, running, jogging, etc. This can be used. Yoga is one of the good method for controlling breath, and all the asanas are also very good for the both mind and body. And for treating PCOS, we can advise in obese PCOS the Surya Namaskara for more than 15 to 20 times in a time. Then they can reduce their body fat also. Then Surya Namaskara, Ardha Chakrasana, and also the Pavana Muktasana, then Dhanurasana, Bhujangasana, etc. are helping. These are the top 5 yoga for infertility, increasing the fertility. Cobra pose, lotus pose, that is the Padmasana, Sedu Bandhasana, supported bridge pose, then leg Abana, Viparita Karani, cobbler's pose, etc. These are the 5 important poses. There are so many yoga poses which can affect in the treatment of PCOS. Then the stress management. It is it is the first and foremost thing in lean PCOS. Stress management with the proper Dhairyaatmadi Vijnana, proper awareness of menstruation and ovulation, proper awareness of the hormonal interplay in the human body. We can treat, we can have a control on this stress management. This is the first and foremost line of treatment in lean PCOS with under medication like Sugumara Kashayam with the Manduga Barni, and also the Kalyana Kashaya and Kalyana Krida, etc. Then reaching the conclusions, the PCOS is a complex heterogeneous endocrinopathy affecting significant proportion of women of reproductive age group. They are at significant risk for cardiovascular morbidity and potential mortality. It is imperative to diagnose and manage cardiovascular risk factors, including those constituting the syndrome X. Reaching the final conclusion, though multiple factors are involving as a cause for PCOS, the lifestyle, food habits, family history, occupation, and above all, the psychosocial factors are found to be the major contributors. Contribution of Ayurveda is valuable in this junction. We can treat each and every PCOS case with confidently, and we can achieve the results after treating 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, etc. There may be so many cases having no results for the treatment of 3 months consecutive treatment or 6 months consecutive treatment. For this, because they do not obey the physician's instructions to them. So firstly, teach the people for lifestyle modification, good health with a strict diet and good exercise, avoid all types of fatty, salty, sweety and fried items, junk food, etc. And do in proper exercise in half an hour daily. This is the must thing. And the meditation, yoga, etc. can be incorporated with our treatment, and dietary supplements like vitamins, etc. can be incorporated. Thus, we can conclude the session, and thank all doctors, and thank you very much for patient hearing. And finally, I express my heartfelt thanks to the doctors of EGA and the coordinators of this program for giving me the opportunity to take this webinar to all of you. Thank you very much. Now open for discussion. Hello. Hello, doctor. Can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes, doctor, I can hear you. Actually, let me conclude the session.
Okay.
Okay, so doctors, it was a great opportunity for us to hear from Dr. Wahida. It was a very informative session. All the things were explained in a very nice way. we came across so many Kashaya yogas and many of the medicines which can be applied in our day-to-day practice. Let me thank Dr. Hridya for giving us the reference about Wahida doctor, and she was the one who coordinated with her and made this session a real one. Okay, let me have Dr. Hridya here to say a few words about your clinical experiences as well as your experiences with the Wahida doctor. And also, I have to say that it is a proud moment that we have only one doctor who has completed the MD in Prasuti Tanda, and that is none other than Dr. Hridya. Dr. Hridya, please.
Hello. Hello, this is Dr. Ramadevi from Udupi. Hello, this is Dr. Ramadevi from Udupi.
Yes, doctor.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
For Wahida madam, I have one doubt that she told
actually we didn't open the session for discussion. Just a moment, man. We will hear from two more other doctors. This will take maybe only 5 minutes. After that, we will open the session for discussion. Can you please
not
wait
now,
patiently?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, continue.
Okay, we will come back to you.
First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Wahida, for making this a reality. Special thanks to Wahida ma'am's husband, Anas sir also, because without him, it wouldn't be possible. He was showing that interest when we suggested this. And coming to UAE's practice, like when I started, it was not that easy being a Prasuti person because nobody was knowing that such a specialty is there. But gradually, I believe from 3 years now, including Uttaravasti, everything we are able to do. So it's a very happy thing. And about PCOS, what I have observed is, I believe that vitamin D is playing a role here, as most of the UAE population is having vitamin D deficiency, and its connection with the whole hormonal things, including SHBG, testosterone, and all are already proven. So I observed that thing. And another thing is obesity, that is so much prevalent here. Coming to another thing, I've observed that usually teenagers are coming more, equal to a proportion of like infertility patients. We are getting teenagers also for PCOS here. Another thing what I've observed is like the sleep pattern is so much disturbed in UAE population. Nobody is having a proper sleep pattern. According to Ayurveda, nobody will be having here. So I used to tell patients more than, along with the medicines, I used to tell them to have strict lifestyle changes, and observed got changes or positive results with patients who are ready to do on lifestyle modification part also, like doing exercise and all regularly, and what all we suggest in their diet modifications, who are ready to follow that. In those cases, I've got result. One more thing to comment is about Shadahwa usage, as ma'am suggested. After hearing ma'am's presentation last year only, I could connect that AMH and Shadahwa. I was giving Shadahwa for past 3 years in my practice. One case I just want to mention, this case I've once discussed with Dr. Suresh Vishwakumar sir also, where I was in a junction, what to do in that case. So remembering that case, just it was a case with 0.34 AMH only. In that case, without knowing that Shadahwa is the one which can help in AMH, I was regularly giving that patient. And other Panchakarma procedures all were done. Anyway, after completing the Panchakarma, she went to India back, and after 3 or 4 months only she conceived, but she didn't take any other treatment. So analyzing the case, I could, after hearing Wahida ma'am's class, I could correlate beautifully that with the 0.34 AMH she conceived, means it could be the effect of Shadahwa. That's for the now.
Yes. Very good
Thank you,
experience.
Dr. Vidya. Thanks for hearing your experience. Let me have Dr. Tehsin Malik here to share her clinical experiences.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you, Dr. Wahida. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, good to see you, Dr. Vahida, after so long. And thanks so much
you,
for a
Mr.
very enlightening session. Every time we hear you, even if that's the same session, I get, lots of new things that, we learn from you, and you are such a like role model for us. Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Vahida.
Thank you.
Thank
You.
Yes. If you all know that I've been practicing in UAE, and most of my practice is related to women wellness, where I encounter a lot of cases related to polycystic ovarian syndrome. And of course, our Ayurveda approach is the optimum. But with that, I also incorporate few other, modalities, uh, which are, usually either it's a supplementation modality, or if it is related to any other lifestyle changes. So I was told to, share some of my practice outcomes with you. And as rightly mentioned by Dr. Wahida and by Dr. Ridya, that first and foremost, it is very important is the patient education and awareness. Because unless the patient knows, that what, first of all, we need to tell them that, see, this is a condition. This is not a disease that, we will treat and it will go away. This is a condition that, you need to manage. And as far as you manage, you will be fine. The moment, you indulge into wrong practices, you will end up, getting the same symptoms back. So I feel the awareness has played a very important role with the patient. The other thing is, again, dietary and lifestyle modification play a very important role, especially in UAE patients that I have seen, because as Dr. Ridya mentioned, this is, uh, most of the patients, they come with very, improper lifestyle, improper diet. And this is when we advise them firstly on, like Dr. Wahida said, that I usually tell them avoid the white stuff, avoid maida, avoid white sugar and sugar derivatives, because a lot of, UAE lifestyle is very rich. The things are very easily and, very, um, uh, what do you say? They are very lucrative, very easily available to us, especially with the young age girls who come. They indulge into a lot of juices and fast food, junk food. So this is something that, nidanasya parivarjanam. First thing, you have to stop the cause. So this is how you advise them. I don't want to go much into detail. The other thing is injudicious use of, the chemicals also, because a lot of patients indulge into taking, over the counter contraceptives, over the counter painkillers and everything. And there has been, in UAE, I feel a lot of patients, because many do not have a very, what do you say, open healthcare plan, or sometimes they just end up going to pharmacy, buying this hormonal pills and using it. I usually get patients who use metformin for 2 months, they stop for 6 months, again they start. So basically their metabolism is compromised because of that. So you have to check as to, what has been their history properly. Other important point I want to share is, lots of patients come asking me for keto diet, because when we talk about Santarpanijanya PCOS, lot of patients ask me if keto diet is going to help them. Some patients are saying they lost this much kg with keto diet. My answer and my research says that no, it doesn't help PCOS, because it usually, decreases the insulin sensitivity. And the moment they come back to their normal diet routine, they are again, the imbalance of the hormones becomes worse, and they come out with worse symptoms. What helps for PCOS is the portion control that I usually suggest, and the exercise. Now, coming to the exercise also, an exercise with a proper warm up and a proper cooling is something that is recommended rather than just, people, they go on the YouTube and they try different ways and they come back getting very, discouraged, saying we are not losing weight. So a proper scientific exercise routine has to be established when it comes to PCOS. Other than that, very important is the use of myo-inositol. Myo-inositol is basically a type of stereoisomer. It is it's a type of a folic acid. Like basically, you should have seen that before any regime for conception. Usually, modern doctors they advise folic acid. Myo-inositol is a special type of folic acid, and it is a precursor to inositol triphosphate, and it regulates. It is known to have effects in regulating TSH, FSH, and insulin sensitivity. And there is another derivative to myo-inositol, which is D-chiroinositol. Now, these are all they are known to be nutritional supplements. They are not this is not a synthetic drug or a controlled drug that you need to you will need a modern prescription. This is a supplement that can be used to compensate the effects of metformin when it is only insulin resistance involved. I recommend a combination of myo-inositol and D-chiroinositol because it increases the sensitivity. But when there is an imbalance in TSH and FSH also, then only myo-inositol is recommended as the first choice of supplement. Are
Dr.
you all
Teresin,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, doctor. Actually, we are getting late for the discussions. Can I call Wahida doctor for the discussions?
Yes, sorry, it's okay. I didn't know, I was not given a time frame, so I thought.
It's okay, ma'am. It's fine, no problem. Okay, so the session is open for discussion. Let me have Dr. Rema Devi, who came up in between asking one doubt. Is she here? She can ask her doubt. Dr. Rema Devi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, doctor, you can ask your doubt.
Okay, thank you. For Wahida, madam, I'm asking. Madam, you told that Medha Rasayana is beneficial, no?
Yes.
Wahida, ma'am.
Rasayana is beneficial. Yes.
Beneficial, but when you are talking about PCOS, all Tikshna and Ushna Dravyas, you told about the Nashtartava, Samprapti and everything you told, and you are almost correlated that with Nashtartava symptoms and line of treatment, all those things, no? But Medha Rasayana drugs are Shitavirya, no, madam? Whether these are beneficial, we need to put Ushna and Tikshna Dravyas, no? Whether these drugs are beneficial, I have doubt.
Yes, ma'am. Can I clarify this?
Sure.
Ma'am, namaste. The Medha Rasayana drugs are more useful in lean PCOS. I mentioned it that like that. There are two types of PCOS, that is the obese PCOS and lean PCOS. The obese PCOS, there we can use the Tikshna Ushna and that type of drug for producing menstruation, etc. And in lean PCOS, there is so many heat problems there. In lean PCOS, they are frustrated with so many things, and there may be severe hormonal imbalance is there in lean PCOS. Here, the Medha Rasayana drugs like Mandugaparni, Yathatmik, Shirena, Ishti Madhugasya Churnam, Resanguluchya, Saha Mulapushpya, Kalkam Rainjida, Changapushpya, Ayush Pradhanyamena Chanani, Medha Akmi Varnaswara Vardhanani, Medhyani, Edani, Rasayanani, Medhya Viseshana, Changapushpi. These among these drugs, Mandugaparni, Changapushpi, and Guluji, etc., we can use in for the treatment of lean PCOS. In lean PCOS, for the ovulation induction, there is Shidavirya drugs needed because their higher mental function is affected more and they have the symptoms like severe heat and they are frustrated with so many hormonal imbalance and also they are stressed. So pacify their stress and allow to cool their hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis. We can use the Medhirasayana drug like Mandugabami. And most of the drug I use that's the Mandugabami and Shangapushpi. And HT Churna also I can use with my treatment. This is the term of Medhirasayana. Okay, ma'am? Is it clear?
Okay, I have one more doubt, madam. Madam, when you were explained about the Samprapti and all, there the Dusha, you told, was of course related with the theory part on Sri Shukra, madam. Sri Shukra,
Yes.
you told, but that is a different entity, no? It is Sri Shukra and Artava is not similar as per my knowledge. I am here working in Udupi as a professor, madam. So I wish to teach that, no? Discussion will be going on there regularly, no? That's why as Sri Shukra is different, no?
Sri Shukra and Artha are different, but Sri Shukra we can consider as its ovum. The ovum is the ultimate of Kaisya Teja Paramami Shukra. Ultimate result, this is the ovum. This is Sri Shukra, we can consider as ovum here. There is an
No, madam,
ovulation
you can't
and
consider. Madam, you can't consider Sri Shukra as ovum and as well as menstrual blood. Sri Shukra is according to.
according to there are so many debates there.
Differences.
The Sri Shukra can be considered as the female hormones. Natural female hormones also we can consider as Sri Shukra. There are so many views are there, madam.
Okay, madam. Because we keep on discussing that. No, that's why I asked. That's all. Just for interest, I asked. Nothing else. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Ma'am, I'm Rekha, Dr. Rekha. I want to ask one doubt. Ma'am, can I ask?
Please. Please.
Ma'am, when to FSH and LH, ma'am, that it should be selected during the follicular phase and luteal phase like that, or when can we get the exact values, ma'am? When to check that?
Yes. For checking the hormone levels, we can select the follicular phase. That is the first, second day or third day, the initial follicular phase, there is a study of some hormonal levels. So we can select that phase. For analyzing the progesterone peak is on the day 21st day. And we can do exam on that day for analyzing proper progesterone is there or not. For FSH and LH, we can, for comparing the FSH-LH ratio and the FSH and LH, we can do on the second day. If we know the luteinizing hormone itself, that is, if there is any luteinized unruptured follicular LUF, etc. condition, we can do the LH11 on the just 12 hours before the ovulation or at the 12 or 13th day, we can do. For as far as PCOS is concerned, we can do the examination on the follicular phase or the first days of menstruation. If there is no menstruation or if there is amenorrhea there, we can do the hormones at any time to recognize if there is severe disturbances in hormones or severe hormonal imbalance. We can do anytime. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am.
Mahida doctor, there is one question.
Yes.
Dr. Hema Subhashini is asking, ma'am, what about the PCOS in teenage girls? Mostly there is heavy bleeding other than amenorrhea. So what would be the management? Mostly young girls from 14 years.
Yes. I explained in my presentation that is the disease is manifesting at the time of puberty itself. That the teenage or the puberty girls are more prone to having the precursor symptoms of PCOS. If we can catch them at the end or we can catch them at the early, we can easily treat the PCOS and easily we can avoid their further complications. Here, at the time of puberty, there may be puberty menorrhagia with, regarding with PCOS or otherwise there may be menorrhagia. regarding PCOS, if there is a hormonal imbalance and puberty menorrhagia with sonographic evidence of polycystic ovarian disease, we have to treat it. First, we have to check her HB level. If the HB level is less than 10, we have to stop the menstruation or menorrhagia, because we can very well know that if there is Dushta Artava or Dushta Rakta is coming, we let them go. If there is pure blood is coming, we have to stop it as early as possible, because Rektam Jeevanam idistiti. So we have to stop it. So for that, we can use the hematinic drugs like the Bryophyllum Mupputti, Lejalu Lejalu with the Jeeraga Palkashaya milk decoction and the banyan leaf milk decoction. We can use, or we can use the Musli Khadradi Kashaya with the Pushyanu Churna, and M2 4 is available in with a Charaka pharmacy. It also can use Stiplon tablet of Himalaya can use. Then we can use Pravalavasma. Pravalavasma in with honey and milk, which very well control the puberty menorrhagia. And most of the case of puberty menorrhagia or the menorrhagia at that time having less hemoglobin level, that is, there may be anemia. The anemia and the puberty menorrhagia are interrelated. If their anemia is more, then menorrhagia is also more. So we have to supplement with the hematinic drugs like Manduga, Mandura Vadagam, Punarnava Manduram, etc. We have to supply with hematinic drugs like that. And one here, the one quadra is very much effective. That is the Vyosha Takam, Vyosha Ajamoja, Tamirama, Karimbi Rimbu, Patya Bala, Pulinarambu, Purana Kittam, Vyosha Takram, which includes the Purana Kitta, etc., which very well check the puberty menorrhagia and also which check the anemia related in puberty. So if there is anemia, we have to treat the anemia itself, and then we have to stop the menstruation, and after that we have to clear the menstruation. That is, we have to check there are regular menstruation within the 28 to 35 days with 3 consecutive cycles with medicine, and with 3 consecutive cycles without medicine. The menstruation pattern should be the normal. Then only we can stop the medicine. Then only it become good for the treatment. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, doctor. Next question is, Shadapushpa, can you tell the reference for the various Anupana?
In the Kashipa Samhita, Shadapushpa, Shadavari, Kalpam, there are Atmiga, Mastu, Madhuna, Belina, Kshira, Sarpisha, etc. There are so many Anubanas in Malsya and Mamsarasaya, and there is with the Chirena. For Belia, it should be with a Chirena. For any Kushta-like condition, it should be used with the Khadirasara, etc. In then clearly mentioned in the Shadapushpa Shadavari Kalpam of Kashipa Samhita.
The next question is, how about alkaline foods in PCOS?
Alkaline foods, which helps to control PCOS, which help to reduce the appetite or craving of food, and the white blood cells,
Ashgard.
Vallibhala, Ashgard, Vallibhala, Ashgard Sarasa, etc., which also reduce the food craving and also helping the help to control the metabolism. If the junk food and sweet food, white sweetness like maida, sugar, etc., can produce severe amlapita, or it can also acidic foods, which leads to PCOS. Then the alkaline foods, which can reduce the metabolic syndrome and reduce the blood pH value to the normal, can help maintain the blood pH value to the normal.
Next question is, what is the prognosis of PCOS?
Prognosis of PCOS, if the patient are adhyorogi bishakvasyo, if the patient is bishakvasya, and if she observe exact the words of the Vaidya, it can be easily cured. And if there is and also if there is obese PCOS, or it can also easily cured with the Abhatraprada Chikitsa like Lenghana Chikitsa, Adistaulia Chikitsa, etc. And if there is less stress component, it can be easily cured. And if the patient takes medicine as food and she takes so many medicine but does not hear the doctor's voice, that is, does not obey proper diet restriction or proper exercise pattern, nothing do with any medicine. It will be it will go to asadhya, etc. If it is with the proper ahara vihara and proper medication, we can treat it easily. There are so many cases nowadays. There is no PCOS and they have with no medication nowadays. Regular 28 days bleeding is there with no PCOS in the ultrasound scanning and with no other metabolic complications. They now after the treatment also they live with the patyahara vijara, patyahara and patyavihara, etc. If the patyahara vihara is incorporated with the treatment, it can cure easily. Only Ayurveda can cure this type of lifestyle disorder easily rather than any other mode of treatment.
Okay, doctor. Next question is, can Brahmi-Grida be given for lean PCOS?
Yes, we can use Brahmi-Grida. Brahmi-Grida with Rajanya is good for lean PCOS. If you thought like that, Kalyana-Grida is more effective. In Kalyana-Grida, there is a reference that is Aredasi, Alparajasi, Devabahada Chedasi, Amedasi, Skalatvaji, Smriti Kame, Alpapavage. Here, Aredasi and Alparajasi or Aprajasi. Both are used, Aprajasi or Alparajasi, these two versions are there. Then we can use Kalyana-Grida more. Then Devabahada Chedasi, also they stress the mental effect also can be treated with a Kalyana-Grida. In puberty girls, we can use with a Brahmi-Grida also.
Okay. Next question is, ma'am, how much effective is the use of Shadapushpa Taila Nasya and Matravasti in anovulation associated with PCOD?
Yes, it have good results. I used to one or two premature ovarian failure cases, Shadapushpa Taila Nasya and Matravasti, which is very much effective. Shadapushpa, so he considered as a magic trick for female fertility.
Okay. Can you advise on Nasya in lean PCOS once again?
Yes, Nasya in lean PCOS. It is a treatment protocol for lean PCOS. That is, first they have to pacify. That is, stress management is there. Proper medication is there. Then Shirodhara with Delaguluchabi, like Shidavirya drugs is mentioned. Then we can use Nasya like Dhanvantaram Grida or Kshirabala is effective in lean PCOS Nasya, and Shadapushpa Taila is also effective after the one course of Kshirabala or the Dhanvantaram Nasya. We can use Shadapushpa Taila Nasya also.
Okay. Please explain the use of tamarind juice.
Tamarind juice is just for the withdrawal bleeding only. Some people take Regestrone for withdrawal bleeding, so we can substitute that with the tamarind juice. Tamarind, 30 gram of tamarind, and dip in and a half glass hot water. Wait for 30 minutes, squeeze well, and take in the early morning for 3 days, 3 consecutive days. Tamarind juice. It is only for withdrawal bleeding, not for the complete cure of PCOS. Only for withdrawal bleeding.
Okay. Vyoshadi Takram reference.
Vyoshadi Chakra reference in Sahasra Yoga. Vyosha Jamoja Tamilama Karimbirambu Pathya Bela Pulinarambu Purana Kittam. This is a reference in Sahasra Yoga.
Okay. Medhya Rasayana are adaptogenic in nature and will elevate fertility outcomes. I think that was a suggestion.
Medhya Rasayana?
Medhya Rasayana are adaptogenic in nature and will elevate fertility outcomes. It was just a... Yes.
Medhya Rasayana are having adaptogenic in nature, but it is always normalize the lithium ion levels. There may not be any more increase or exacerbations in the lithium levels as far as I concern. I checked severe depression patients. They have low level of lithium, and they are treated with lithium lithosins like lithium derivatives. But after using of our Medhi Rasayana, it becomes normal, and it is in the normal level, not so excessive level.
Okay. When we take
Dr. Wahida,
Arthavilium,
to interrupt, Dr. Wahida, it was just a comment for the previous doctors when she asked about
okay.
the. Okay.
Okay, doctor, thank you. Next question is, when we take Arthavilium Kashayam, Dr. Wahida told 5 days in a month, before menstruation or after menstruation?
The PCOS is concerned, there is irregular menstruation. So we can use Arthavilium Kashayam in 5 days in a month. Then we can stop. Then if there is, and then we can use the other drugs for like Kanashadavadi or Chitragrandhyadi, etc. for the treatment of the PCOS. And then if menstruation occurs, we can use the next after the menstruation, the Arthavilium Kashayam we can use. Like that we can use.
Okay. If hemoglobin is okay, but menorrhagia in young girls, what could be done, ma'am? The HP level is okay.
Okay, then menorrhagia is young. If it is more than 10 to 15 days menorrhagia, then the endometrium becomes so weak. So we have to stop here also. So I initially used Musli Gadradi Kashaya with Kushyanu Churna and honey. I got good results with this Kashaya in young girls. Musli Gadradi Kashaya with Kushyanu Churna and honey, half teaspoon Kushyanu Churna and half teaspoon honey. Then otherwise we can use Pravala Basma with honey and milk. It also check the menorrhagia in that type of cells. And then we can use Ashwagandha also. Ashwagandha is a good choice with the Rajanyadi Churna, half teaspoon Ashwagandha and half teaspoon Rajanyadi Churna, 15 minutes before food, twice daily. It's also good for controlling the menorrhagia, and advice to stop any vigorous exercise, keep rest, and take more water, etc. We can advise. We can also use some piju like Dhanandaram Thailam with the Kadalipadam, that is a small banana, Dhanandaram Thailam, or Dhanandaram Thailam with buttermilk, Namanida, Dhanandaram Thailam with Namanida, etc. on the Brekma region and on the navel region, we can use like piju, that is Shida Virya drugs can produce hematostatic action. Then we can use, if medicine can give good result, we can use Nasya with Vashaswarasa or Durvaswarasa or Durvadikrida is effective for stopping the menorrhagia of puberty girls.
Okay. Next question is, can you suggest stress management drugs for obese PCOS patients?
As they have in obese PCOS patient, their first concern about their figure and their complexion, etc. Then we have to reduce their stress. Like if we treat this condition, these all the figure problem and the complexion all are resulted with the PCOS itself. So we have to realize what is the condition of PCOS, and we have to educate them and what are our treatment modalities, we have to educate them, and what the precautions and what the exercise and diet restrictions, etc. She should obey. We have to educate them, and then we have to advise them to take pranayama and proper yogasana as she can. The proper yogasana as she can, and like that we have to pacify their stress, and proper medication also very much effective. Meditation also very much effective.
Okay. Next question is, ma'am, do you have? Yes, doctor.
Do you have? Please.
Yes, doctor. Once again, we didn't hear you.
Thrithairyatmadi Vijnanam is also very much effective in treating the stressed patients.
Okay. Next question is, ma'am, do you have an experience of using Padadi Kwada mentioned in Grandhi Buddha Artava Tushti?
Yes, Padadikwada, I used in some type of PCOS. There are some menstruations like just only bits, only there is no drop, just bits. I used Padadikasha. It also having good results.
Okay. Next question is action of Palashit Shara in dysfunctional uterine bleeding.
Yes, Palashashara with Kanashadahadi Kashaya, Palashara with Triandiadi Kashaya, etc. also good. In dysfunctional uterine bleeding with Musilikadradi Kashaya, we can use the Palashashara.
Okay. Can you please suggest the management of rondal hair loss in PCOS?
If the PCOS can be treated with and if their hormone patterns become normal, then only the frontal hair loss become cured. In addition to this treatment, we can use Kayunyadikera, Tegarajanasya, etc. for reducing the frontal hair loss. But if there is hyperandrogen level, then the main sign of hyperandrogen level is frontal hair. So we can treat with our medication and with the hormones are normal, become normal, then only the frontal hair loss become normal.
Okay. Explain the usage of Shuddha Bhasma in hirsutism.
Shuddha Shangabhasma, Shuddha Haritala and Shuddha Manashila. Both are in equal quantity. It is said in Sushruta. This is the one of yoga who taught me one early, one Dr. Bhavani Amma in Wayanad. Madam explained me, and after her explanation, I used to refer Sushruta Samhita, and it got that the Shuddha Shangabhasma, Shuddha Manashila, and Shuddha Haritala in equal quantity, and Bhavana in the banana root sarasa or in the Puga sarasa or the Kramuga sarasa for 7 days, and dried well, powdered well, and mixed with the rose water and applied over the hirsutism areas here and here and here, etc. Wait for half an hour and wash with the cold water. After half an hour, wash with the cold water. It reduces the initially it reduces the thickness of the hair. It reduces the color of the hair, and it reduces the amount of hair. Gradually it becomes less, and the hirsutism becomes disappearing gradually. It is a good drug of choice for hirsutism. Along with the medication of PCOS is needed. Here, the androgen excess is the main cause for hirsutism. With the medication of PCOS, with the proper regaining of menstruation, only the androgen becomes less. Then, with this type of cosmetic treatment, the hirsutism will be gone. Okay.
Okay. Okay, doctor, thank you. I hope it was quite a lot of questions to ask, and all the doubts were
Hello,
cleared.
one question.
Yes, yes, please.
Hello, one question.
Yes.
This is Dr. Ramadevi from Udupi. Ma'am, for Wahida Madam, one doubt, that is for hirsutism, there is that Loma Shatana, the Churna, Paila like that available, they are telling, and just application on that particular area, and means where hair growth is an unwanted hair. That is whether it is beneficial, whether you worked on that.
Ma'am, I used the Lomachadana Taila earlier, but I got less result with this. I had only less result with this. So I switch on to Gandhaka Rasayana, and it is accidentally known that is Gandhaka Rasayana having effect on the hirsutism, because the Gandhaka Rasayana applied over the skin area, there is some hair follicles that goes. So I used to use Gandhaka Rasayana with honey. Then the Shuddha Abradasma, sorry, Shuddha Changabhasma, Haritala and Manashila with this combination. Hello, ma'am?
Hello, ma'am. No, this Gandhaka Rasayana powder, making powder and applying.
Yes, Gandhaka Rasayana making powder is available in Aushadhi in Kerala here. So
Okay, okay.
recently I used the Gendagrasina for one patient of skin disease. Then the property of Lomashadana, my understanding the property of Lomashadana, I used to suit the patient. It gives good results. Then the Shuddha Shandabasma, Haridala and Manashila with banana root, Sarasa Bhavana and or Puda Sarasa, Pramaka Sarasa Bhavana, and make it a powder with apply with the rose water. It gives more results than this. But Lomashadana Taila I used it earlier, but I got less results, so I picked that.
Yes, Churna also available, madam. We told patient that to rub it on that particular area, on must strike and all it is there, no. But we I advise them to rub it on that particular area, but the patient told it is not given any result. Churna.
Which Churna?
Lomushatana, the Churna.
Lomashadana Churna I never used, ma'am. First Lomashadana Taila, it is also results, so I never used that. I used the Taja Mukhaler from the Raja Ayurvedics. It has some results. Then I have got results in Gandhagarasayana. Then results in that the Shuddha Shankavasma, Haridala and Manashila. And that in Bhavana and banana root and or Bhavana in
Hello, I'm not getting you.
which give more results. So I left that Lomashadana light truck here.
Okay, okay. Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rama Devi.
With my experience from my heart, ma'am. This I am telling.
Okay, thank you, Vahida doctor. Let me have Dr. Shyam here to speak a few words as well as to share his experience and to conclude the session. Dr. Shyam, please. Dr. Shyam? Dr. Shyam is there? Just a moment, ma'am. There may be any kind of technical difficulties. Let me check.
Okay. And അവിടെ technical error. Technical error.
Actually, Vahida Dr. Shyam got a patient and he is a bit busy over there. So let me have Dr. Sharifa Testi once again to conclude the session.
Okay.
Testi, doctor?
Hello?
Yes. Yes, doctor, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Dear Vahida Doctor, for sharing the clinical experience in detail and sharing the dedicated time for in this Ramadan time also, because we are so happy and it's a real eye opener for all the doctors here. And we thank on behalf of IGA and for our beloved Wahida Rahman and also our Anas sir, and hope this session was very fruitful. And also I thank you all the attendees who attended the session, and we were all awaiting for long time for a special session like this. So we will be so happy. We were so happy that we will be doing the series of sessions, inshallah, if we are able to do that in the coming time. Okay. Thank you once again.
Thank you all doctors for patient hearing and involving in the discussion. Thank you all.
Yeah, it was a great session. It was a great session with a very good attendees, like nearly 130, 135 attendees. We are so happy. And it was also going Facebook Live too.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you
Dr.
for
Mostly,
every
Wahida doctor, there are some suggestions
Yes.
coming up telling that we are awaiting for the next session very soon. So you have to be
Okay.
ready for the next session.
Okay, please inform me at least 1 week before your schedule
Yeah, we
timing.
love to hear you. So we will come back to you with another session. Thank you all the doctors for your patient listening and the cooperation with EGA. Thank you so much, and we are going to wind up the meeting. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.